Okay, I just need to let these things out. I am losing my mind. This week has just been one of those weeks where everything feels like it's going wrong. And if you can relate, please let me know throughout this video, comment below. Help me know I'm not alone. And regardless, I just really hope that you watch this video to the very end because there are some really, really important takeaways that I am reiterating to myself and I know you need to hear as well. Let me back up and just kind of spill everything that's bothering me. This is my little rant because when we're upset, when we're spiraling, it is so important to just let those emotions out. We might tend to keep them bottled up and try and tell ourselves, oh, it's no big deal. And I've done that. I've been really trying to wrestle with myself all week and remind myself of the bigger perspective. But at the same time, if we keep all of those emotions and frustrations inside, then we're not processing them and able to actually work through them in a more helpful, productive, rational way. So the first step is always to just let those things out. That's what I'm doing in this video. So bear with me, all right? I am having a week. I am just going crazy because I have so much going on. I am under so much stress at work. And then my house feels like a disaster. My kids are in these different activities. And so our evenings have been really crazy. And a lot of the things that we would do at night are not happening, which means that then the mornings have been super stressful. Everything feels like a battle. I have so many different responsibilities on my plate. My kids have been acting out. I'm feeling behind on a lot of things. I'm putting pressure on myself to do all this extra stuff. And it's just all turned into this really vicious mental battle that came to a head yesterday morning and the night before as well. I just was overrun with these negative emotions and turning everything into this blame game. Looking at my husband, who also works. We are a dual working household and he is incredible, right? He does so much, but the bottom line is that having any parent work, but let alone both parents work, that is so hard. It takes so much to run a house, especially a house with 4 kids, 9 and under. We've got 4 little boys who need us so much and they help in their own way, but they still need a lot of direction. And my husband is really wonderful. But because we both work, because we both have this stress, and whenever I get stressed, it's so easy for me to go to that place where I'm like, why am I the one that has to pack the lunches? Why am I the first one up and the last one to bed? Why am I the one that has to worry about the laundry? And why am I the one that has to do all of these things, right? If you're a working mom, or even just if you're a mom and I know you're working your tail off at home, being a mom is so hard. It's so wonderful, but there's just so much that really does seem to fall into, if not the mom's domain, you know, she just might do it better or more efficiently. I don't know. Every family is different. And the point is just that this is an ongoing I don't want to say struggle, but ongoing conversation and discussion that my husband and I always have. How can we help each other? How can we divide the labor? Because there is so much to do. And neither of us stays home, in which case we're both under the same kinds of stress. We have fewer hours to do the things that need to be done at home since we both work. And it's really easy for me to go to that negative mental place where I feel unappreciated, I feel undervalued, I feel like my job doesn't matter as much as my husband's work or whatever else he wants to do, or that he's, you know, getting to do all these fun things and I am consumed with the mental load of motherhood, right? And it's been really bad. This week has been, I have been in a bad place, and thankfully, I knew that I needed to just bite my tongue. My head was going crazy with all of these really awful thoughts and these things that I wanted to say. It would have come out to my husband as the most awful words, right? And I thankfully knew I just need to bite my tongue. I need to go to bed. I need to get some sleep. So I did that Wednesday night. Thursday was really crazy. Thursday morning, I was a bear. And again, like, my head was filled with all of these frustrations, all of these things I wanted to just yell at him. And I didn't, thankfully. And as I was driving into campus for my academic job yesterday, I was thankfully just filled with a lot of wisdom and grace and reminders that I want to share with you. That's the point of this video, all right? So this is how I've been talking myself through the craziness and trying to come down off of that proverbial ledge, because the reality is that if I'm feeling unseen and undervalued or unappreciated. The point is that I should first be looking outward and showing value and appreciation to my family, right? Look at the amazing things my husband is doing. Look at the amazing things my kids are doing. Who am I to think that I deserve to just, live this perfect life and have everyone swoop in and take care of me? Serving my family is, I believe, my most important calling in life. And it is a huge warning sign for me that I am doing too much. I have way too much on my plate if I'm getting bitter and resentful about what should be my biggest, most important priority. So that's on me. That is my problem. That is the devil in my head coming between me and my husband, trying to ruin my marriage, trying to make our family life so challenging, right? And additionally, when have I really expressed my gratitude? Why am I not looking for other ways that I can better help make things easier for my husband? Why am I not more patient with my kids? The overarching sign is that I have taken on too much. I am doing too many things, and I am clearly letting the stress of my job and all of these other big things going on in the background interfere with my home life. And that's bad. That's dangerous, right? I'm feeling it. I am physically going crazy. The other huge thing that I have really realized, right, is that, of course, it is a long-term game. Some days, some weeks, yeah, I might objectively be doing way more than my husband. I might be bearing the brunt of the home responsibilities, but it certainly evens out over the long term. There are so many things that I know he does and that he specializes in that I don't even have to think about. So we have, after all of these years, we've been together for 22, married for 16, we have, over the last several years especially, found a system that works for us. And most of the time it works really well. But in those stressful weeks where I have so much going on, that's when it's easy to go to that negative place again. If you are a working parent, if you are a dual working household, let me know down below how you divide responsibilities, or if you ever feel this stress and perceive this unfairness, because it is hard. It is so hard, right? But it is a long-term perspective. We need to recognize that our job is to lift each other up and help, take over responsibilities sometimes, and then other times we will be the ones who are taken care of. That's always how it works out if we just widen our horizon. The next thing is that I totally realized that I have not even begun to communicate to my husband all of the stress that I am under. He has no idea what I'm going through at work and all the deadlines that I'm under and all the different plates that I have spinning for my job, let alone my side business. We are so busy with our jobs and with our day-to-day and taking care of the kids that at the end of the day, we might sit down and talk for a few minutes. We might watch a show, but usually we just kind of skip the part. We're just in a phase of our life right now where we're not sharing all of those big day-to-day events or things coming up for one another. We try and, put things on the shared calendar so that we know big appointments or things, but I have not at all communicated to my husband why I am so stressed. And so again, how can I expect him to know what needs doing or what I would like help with if I have not even asked? And thankfully, then I sat down with him last night and we did have a really good, open conversation. Not a heated one, not an argument, but just, I kind of was thankfully I was given the words to express how I was feeling in a non-accusatory way, in a way that hopefully wasn't coming across to him as, you're not helping at all, you're not doing what I need you to do, blah, 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 right? Instead, I was able to just express and have him listen to the fact that I am stressed. I don't know how to do all that I have going on. And then miraculously, he had suggestions and ideas of things that we can do together or that he could do to make life easier. For instance, the school lunch thing is one of my biggest pain points right now because my kids take their lunch every day and I am always up spending all kinds of time trying to pack their lunch, or if I haven't gotten all the lunches packed early in the week, then it's like extra things in the morning, especially when I'm trying to get myself ready for work and the kids are in the kitchen and it's a whole big thing. So my husband had really great ideas for how we could make the lunch situation easier, and it just reaffirmed for me how important my signature 5Ds formula is. I have abandoned that. I use it for a lot of my tasks, but I'm not thinking of it holistically. I need to really reevaluate of all my responsibilities or all of the things going on in my life. What can I drop? What can I defer? What can I delegate, right? Ask for help or consider other people might have better ideas. What can I dumb down? And this school lunch thing is going to be one of those things that I'm just going to need to simplify. And then what must I absolutely do well, right? I, by nature, want to do everything well, and let me know in the comments if you are a fellow perfectionist. I always try and say I'm a recovering perfectionist, but my default is to do my absolute best at everything, and I hold myself to these impossible high standards. I don't feel good about what I'm doing unless I feel like it is absolutely perfect. I'm really wrestling with that. And so many things don't need to be perfect. They just need to get done, right? So I'm being reminded of that. The third thing is that I realized that behind all of my stress are these unexpressed and undealt with emotions. I've recently had a very severe diagnosis of a loved one, and I live far away from her. This is so painful, so emotional, so hard. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the future brings. And I realized that that is really what's bothering me, that I'm so upset and emotional and feeling so out of control in that area that it is affecting everything else in my life, and I'm not even really aware of it. So I would encourage you, when you are stressed, to pause and evaluate what bigger stress is going on in your life. What other situation, what emotions are you suppressing or ignoring or avoiding, right? What are you escaping from that is actually at the heart of how you're feeling? Because the day-to-day stress, the school lunch thing, the laundry, the house mess, like, that's the tip of the iceberg. Those are really small, minuscule things that I know don't matter in the big picture. And yet, clearly that was the tipping point. Those were the little things pushing me over the edge. And I realize it's because I'm actually just so upset, so upset about this other bigger situation that is so hard and that I just don't know how to deal with. There's nothing I can do to change this situation. And I really... I am emotional. And that goes hand in hand with the next thing, which is that I realized part of the reason I am upset is because I have been so busy. I have been pushing myself so hard to do all these things, to keep up with everything at work, to keep up with the home, to keep pushing out YouTube videos, to do these things that I want to do for my business, that I have not been taking physical care of myself. I'm not getting enough sleep. I have not been exercising. I've not been eating well. I am way too reliant on my coffee, right? I am just... I'm not where I need to be health-wise in order to then be emotionally and mentally stable for handling these things. And so if you are struggling, it is so critical that we step back and give ourselves the time and space for that elusive thing we call self-care, because if we're not taking care of ourselves, if we are not getting sleep, if we're not well nourished, if we are we're putting ourselves last, then we are no good for anybody, and all the other stuff is going to bother us that much more. That's the trap that I am in. And so it sounds really counterintuitive. I have been not following my own advice. I have been forcing myself to just push through, work harder, skip today's workout because I don't have time. I need to use that time for some other work task, or I'm going to stay up really late because working on my side business can only happen at night or early morning. I'm going to really push myself to get this done, even if it means that I don't get that much sleep, and I am still getting woken up several times at night with a young nursing baby. So I just realized that so much of why I am unable to handle what I have on my plate right now is because I have lost the foundation of self-care and health that I need to have in order to keep up with it all. So That reminded me of the immediate intervention plan that I made years ago. It was one of the very first free resources I ever made for my business. I will put a link in the description so that you can check it out as well. But it is this literal checklist of simple things that are scientifically proven to help you break out of a rut, turn a bad day around, and really just get back to taking care of yourself so that you can start over, feel refreshed, and really build back in from a good foundational place. The most important recognition of all that I had yesterday was the importance of reframing our negative thoughts into positive and powerful ones. So for example, in my rant, the awful things going on in my head, I was like, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? Why am I the one that has to do this, right? And I caught myself and I realized, no, this is about me getting to do this, all right? I get to make lunch for my kids. I get to help put my kids to bed. I get to help take care of them during the day. I get to serve my family in this capacity and that capacity. I get to go to work. I get to do this for my job. I get to make these YouTube videos. These are incredible blessings in my life. So I need to refocus and remind myself that I get to do all of these things. We need to recognize that everything we are not changing, we are choosing. This is not my saying. I wish I could take credit for it. I don't know who came up with it in the first place, but whatever we are not changing, we are choosing. And so we need to take ownership of that fact. We need to feel empowered by the fact that we are choosing whatever it is. Even if it is a bad mindset, right? Then that is our choice and it is something in our control, and it's all the more easy to get in a better mindset if we are taking care of ourselves physically and emotionally, which I have not been doing. I really want to underscore again that this was not ultimately about what anyone else is doing or not doing. This is not to blame my husband. He is amazing and I'm so grateful, so thankful for him. I realize how lucky I am. I know how good I have it, but in these stressful moments, it's really easy to lose sight of that. It's really easy to point fingers. It's really easy to feel like the victim, and that is where I have been. I am not proud to admit this, but I'm just being open and honest that as a busy working mom, these are the kinds of mental battles that happen and that I struggle with in my head. So there you go. If you like this open chat, if you want more of these little heart-to-hearts, then let me know. Give this video a thumbs up. Make sure and subscribe, but come back every week for regular videos on planning, productivity, and purposeful living, because we can do this. We are amazing, and there are so many science-backed ways that we can simplify our lives to do what we need to do while being the wife and the mom and whatever else it is that we feel called to be as well. You don't have to sacrifice your faith, your family, yourself to follow your passions and your dreams. I'm so adamant about that, and yet I also just like to keep it real that these are struggles that I have. These are negative thoughts I have in my head, and I just am trying to process it like everybody else. Thanks for being here. Have such a good day. I'll see you back soon.